Hello and welcome to today's lesson on the urogeneral system, so urinary and reproductive systems. We're going to combine to one unit, starting with the urinary systems. So today we're going to talk about the urinary system, give you an overview, organs, how it kind of works, just kind of the basics, and we'll dig into it more as we progress through. But for today, my goal for you is for you to be able to identify the major organs and components of the urinary system for both males and females. Being as they're the same. I'd explain functions of the urinary system. Why do we have it? What does it do for us? That kind of thing. And then last but not least, I describe the pathway urine takes from production, where it's created, to excretion from the body. And so here we go. For starters, your urinary system is made of only 4 organs, or 4 major components. Those 4 components are your kidneys, which are located here and here on either side of your body. We're going to talk about those more in depth here shortly. Whether male or female, both have kidneys, 2 of them. Attached to your kidneys are what are called ureters. These are the structures here that take urine from your kidney down to the next major structures we're going to talk about. So these are your ureters, which take urine from your kidney down to your urinary bladder, which is this structure here. Is your urinary bladder, and from your urinary bladder it goes through your urethra and out your body. And so we'll talk about the urethra as well. But these are the organs of your urinary system. For starters, just some basics on the kidney. Like I said, we're going to go more in depth here shortly, but not right now. So kidneys located in the posterior wall of your abdominal cavity. These are in what's known as the retroperitoneal space. So your peritoneum is a lining to your gut that lines all of your organs here. Retro meaning behind, and so retroperitoneal means your kidneys are actually outside of this peritoneum. So they're not enclosed with the rest of your organs inside your gut. They're behind there in this retroperitoneal space. They're held in place because they're not within your peritoneum. They're held in place by what's called renal fascia, which is connective tissue. And so this fascia is connective tissue. Renal is anything that refers to the kidney. They're then surrounded by adipose tissue, which is fat, which provides a little bit of cushion. And then they are partially protected by your lower ribs. Your lower rib cage, lower portion of the ribs, those last 2 floating ribs down at the bottom help protect your kidneys a little bit from the back. Again, connected to your kidneys are these structures called ureters. These are 2 tubes here on either side, one on either side, going from your kidney down to your urinary bladder. In just looking, this is a combination male-female system. If you're a female, you have a uterus located right next to your bladder. So this is why if you become pregnant, obviously this is going to get bigger with the baby inside of it. It's going to push on this urinary bladder, which will cause you to have to go to the bathroom at very inopportune times, which is seemingly always. Males, we have a structure called the prostate, which functions in our reproductive system. But we have a prostate here. This is the structure that leads to prostate cancer. It can become cancerous, which is prostate cancer, but also located right next to your urinary bladder. So that's one of the possible signs, indicators that you may have prostate cancer. If this gets bigger, it condenses the space here and you have to go to the bathroom more. But those are your ureters. Next, like I kind of showed you, is your urinary bladder. Your bladder is located right behind your pubic symphysis, right along there. Function, it's a bladder. It stores urine prior to excreting it. And this bladder is composed of 4 layers. And you will notice these are the same as your alimentary canal. It has a mucosa layer, which lubricates the inside. It has a submucosa, full of connective tissue and blood vessels. It has a detrusor muscle. So this is your muscular layer, which allows it to contract and push the urine out. And last but not least, it has a serous layer on the outside to prevent friction with the rest of your body. Your bladder also contains rugae for the same function as your stomach. So your stomach, when there's no food in it, is able to condense, contract, not take up so much space, and has these folds called rugae. Your urinary bladder is the same way. When you're not full of urine and ready to go to the bathroom, your urinary bladder doesn't take up a ton of space. It's rather small, allows you to function otherwise, makes your living more comfortable. As it fills, you become less comfortable until you eventually excrete what's inside. Here is a diagram of your urinary bladder. You'll notice this is your peritoneum. Again, this is that lining to your abdominal cavity. Your urinary bladder is actually outside of that, so it sits right on it, and this is where your ureters connect here. You'll notice your different layers. So here's kind of a zoomed in, microscopic view. You have these two layers here, which both represent your mucosa. There are these two linings here. Outside of that, your submucosa, your connective tissue, your blood vessels, your nerves are all in this location. Your muscular layer, you'll notice, is the bigger one, the biggest one of the four, the largest one. So when it contracts, you can push that urine out. And the last one, this adventitia, is your serous layer that prevents friction on the outside. This is the same kind of deal. You'll notice your urinary bladder looks almost like an upside down triangle. And the reason it's upside down is so it funnels. So it looks, I guess, like a funnel maybe is a better way to describe it. But everything funnels down to here, down to your urethra, which we're going to talk about next, to expel urine from the body. And that is obviously the end-all be-all goal. But this is your urinary bladder. Not yours, but an example of one. When we talk about urination, urination is the process of expelling urine from the bladder, obviously getting it out of your body, and you will have various stages of needing to go to the bathroom. So when your bladder has roughly 200 milliliters of urine in it, you'll have this, hey, I kind of need to go to the bathroom. Not super bad, but you'll notice it. At 300 milliliters, you're like, all right, maybe I'm going to go to the bathroom sometime soon. So the feeling intensifies. At 500, it's becoming a little more of an urgency that, hey, I got to go to the bathroom here. Your bladder can actually hold, though, up to 1 liter or 1,000 milliliters of urine at one time. So yes, you'll notice it at 2, a little bit more feeling at 3, 5, you're halfway there. You can get up to this. This would be rather uncomfortable, but you can get up to that as far as volume goes, up to 1 liter. And then within your urine, you also have bacteria that are working to break things down and digest the different particles still left in that urine. And then the amount of bladder doubles. Bacteria in your bladder doubles every 4 hours. And then obviously you go to the bathroom, it leaves, goes with your urine, then doubles again. And so that's where you're constantly creating, so you act like a petri dish almost, that you're allowing bacteria to grow, and then you remove them when you urinate. All right, the last structure we're going to talk about is your urethra. So ureter and urethra sound very similar, two different things. Urethra, this carries urine from the bladder to the outside of the body. So this is the final passageway from your insides to your outsides. You have two sphincters. You have an internal sphincter, which prevents urine from emptying. And this is found higher up, almost right below your urinary bladder. So if you look back at this picture, your internal sphincter is here, right up against your urinary bladder. Your external sphincter is here. And so that's what we're talking about here, is your internal and external sphincter. So the internal one is located right up against that bladder, which prevents urine from emptying the bladder. This is contained by smooth muscle. And because it's smooth, we have no control of this. This is involuntary. Your body controls this and does its best to keep this shut. If your body decides, hey, it's time to go to the bathroom, and you are in no position to go to the bathroom, you have another sphincter, this external sphincter, which, as you saw, was farther down your urethra, allows you to resist the urge to urinate. And this is a voluntary muscle control, or voluntary, which is controlled by skeletal muscle. A couple of differences in the urethra. Females, you have a shorter urethra. It goes from your urinary bladder outside and leaves your body at what's called your urethra meatus. Males, yours is longer, has to pass through your prostate gland, and yours ends up carrying both urine and sperm, which we'll talk about when we get to reproductive systems. But here's, again, one last look at your system, so male and female. You'll notice females here, you have an internal sphincter, which is right up against that bladder, and an external one, which is located a little ways down. But this tract, let's go back. but this tract here is a much shorter route than this one over here. And so females, you have a much shorter passage from bladder to emptying than males do. But these are your urethras, and this is kind of the end of your bladder and your urethra. So you have, again, males, you have a prostate gland in this location, which it goes through as well. Okay? So this is your urinary system. These are some questions you should be able to answer. So identify the major organs. Where is urine produced at? Where is it stored? And what's the name of the tube that expels urine from the body? I look forward to working with you through the rest of this unit, and I have enjoyed working with you all year. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later.